Dorsey Made Gaming here, and I'm doing this on my phone today, y'all, because my batteries are dead in my camera. So sorry about that. But anyway, I want to talk about college football today, and I want to talk about the potential return for NCAA. And could we see it this year? I know everybody's gonna jump the gun and say, no, we're not gonna be able to see it this year. It's too soon. They don't have, by now we would have had stuff out for it, marketing, all that kind of stuff. And that's according to the original timeline. One thing we have to take into account is that for something as big as NCAA, first of all, is it profitable? Yes. EA knows that NCAA would be extremely profitable to release this year. They even said that they were going to release it during all of the lawsuits and stuff like that. Only reason they didn't is because potential profits, the lawyer fees and court fees and all that stuff would have exceeded potential profits for the franchise. And so that's why they didn't put any out during that time frame. But the EA exec did say, I know we'll be back. Now, that individual has gone on to, I want to say, be the CEO of a soccer team. So he has left EA, but that doesn't mean that the game isn't still going to happen. Now, fanboys, I'm excited. I would say, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that E3 EA comes out and say, guess what? We got the biggest surprise for you. NCAA is coming out. It's been in development. It's one of the most best kept secrets. And my thing is, with E3 being in June, could they come out and say that it's being released next month? Yes, games have done that before. Developers have come out and said that. If you watched, I know this is a small game, but the Power Rangers game that came out for Bandai, when they released the trailer for it, guess what? The game was available the next day, and nobody knew about it. Madden, look at Madden right now. We have nothing on Madden. All we know that Madden 18 is coming out. The only reason we know this is because EA still has a contract to produce Madden, so we know there's going to be a Madden 18. But there's no trailer. There's no cover art. There was a leaked image. We don't know if that's legit or not until it's been confirmed. You can check that out in the video about the leaked one that says this isn't clickbait, because guess what? It's not clickbait. That was the actual image. But so you're looking at them announcing Madden. It's the end of April, beginning of May. So you have about 3 months till the game actually comes out. Now, one thing I will say is this. EA is going to open up E3. Now, that may not sound, amazing to some, but it says a lot. And this is what it says. It says that there's something big coming. Now, people can say, well, it's the return of NBA Live. We already knew NBA Live was coming back. It's the new UFC. Yeah, I don't doubt that. But I think EA has a surprise for us. Now, worst case scenario, we end up with a story mode in Madden 18 that ultimately leads us through the NCAA playoffs, because we know EA still has some push and pull with the as far as using the team names and stuff like that. They may not be able to use the player likeness, but I guarantee you they can, because in the NCAA playoffs they can do what 2K did and just use 4 teams. Now, with that being said, if that is the case, and we do see a story mode in in Madden 18, then, we could be, at worst case scenario, looking at a demo of college football. Yeah. So college football fans rejoice, because if a story mode comes to Madden and you're able to take your college team, they're of course going to control what teams, but pick what team you want to come from of those 4 teams. And I know that kind of sucks, and it may take away from it a little bit, because you're only going to be able to come from a certain college, whereas right now in Madden, if you create yourself, you can come from any college. But being able to take your team through the NCAA playoffs, which is 2 games, but still, if that is the case, then you're going to see a demo of NCAA, because you're going to be playing with those teams, similar to how you did the Final Four in NBA 2K17. even playing through high school. So that's really, really cool. If they implement something like that into Madden, it's going to be awesome. And on top of that, like I said, it's going to give us a demo of what college football would be like on next generation consoles. I can't help but picture college football coming back. Can you hear it? Can you hear the crowd? I can hear it. Can you hear Lee Corso and Kirk Kirkstreet? I can hear them. College football was the greatest sports game to ever graze a console. Man, if you don't know how much that game would sell, then if you know that, and you know, people say, oh, it's not coming back. They don't need players in the game. They don't. Because if you go online right now and look it up, you're going to see people still doing up-to-date rosters for NCAA. You'll see people buying 360s and PS3s just to play NCAA. And so, you know, they even had the team builder feature where you didn't have to have that in there to do it. Like to have the players, you just had a generic roster. And so roster-wise, it's not going to be an issue. Now, what EA can say, are people buying the game for the superstars that are in college football, or are they buying it for the team? And I would say the majority of people are buying it for the team itself as well as the college football experience. Because in 4 years, when you play in a franchise, you're going to have a completely different team. Those players who are big time aren't going to be there. And so if you like myself, you buy it to bring up a team and play with a particular team. That is the catching point. And that's what's going to be exciting, man, because I really honestly do. I feel like it's going to be back. I definitely feel like it's going to be back. It would be stupid on EA's part not to bring back college football. And I think also that's possibly why we haven't seen other developers try to make a college football game. Because EA, I wouldn't be surprised if they still hold the rights. I know they lost their NCAA license, but that doesn't mean that they didn't get it back. Because if you look in Madden on the Ultimate Team or the Draft Champions and stuff, you have college heroes, and they're using those college names. They have to pay them to be able to use those names and things of that nature. So am I going out on a stretch by saying this? I don't know, man. I don't think that I am. Like I said, E3 is going to be opened up by EA. And hey, can a brother wish, man? Can I hope that they come out and, you know, I would even be excited if they said, guess what, guys? NCAA football is back in production and you'll see it next year. I would be excited about that. But the lottery, man, would be if they come out and say, you know, NCAA football will be back and it's coming out in August. Because I don't think that if they announced it in June that it would come out a month. It could, I doubt it, because you have to think about marketing and promotion and things of that nature. However, and then something as big as that, I don't think that EA could keep that under wraps all this time. But it could be a possibility if nobody's watching and paying attention for it. But I don't think so, you know, because they have to send people out to the universities and stuff to get the stadium bills, the jerseys, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, because they could also use pictures and stuff like that for it. I you know, like I said, I don't know. It could be one of the best kept secrets in the gaming industry. But I think if they were coming out with it this year, they would have said something by now, because the hype would definitely be real. And like I said, you got to give yourself time for marketing. Even though with Madden, we won't hear anything till next month, till May. And that gives you 3 months to market and stuff like that. So the truth is, NCAA probably won't be back this year, but it could potentially be back next year. However, if Madden does a story mode where it takes you basically through high school, to college, and then the pros, then we could potentially see a somewhat extremely slimmed down version of NCAA in Madden. And I would not be upset with that at all. Because more than likely, if they do that, they're going to do it at the playoff spot, and you're only going to be playing, you know, those 4 games or 2 games that make up the NCAA playoffs. unless they pull a rabbit out the hat and actually implement college football into Madden through that feature of coaching your team through that one season, not a franchise, but through that one season, making the playoffs and things of that nature, and throughout that time raising your draft stock. Man, if they did that, that'd be freaking insane. Do you hear me, man? But they could do it. They could do it, but now people say that's too much to put into a game. But look at NCAA, all the stuff. All the thing they don't have to put is the Division I teams in there, and then you got to think about it like this: they're only doing it for one season. Could it happen? I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Leave that down in the comment section, man. What are your thoughts on it? How many of y'all would buy college football? How many of y'all prefer college football over Madden? And do you think that if story mode is implemented into Madden 18, which I strongly believe that it will we get to, it would seem ill advised not to have some kind of college football implemented into Madden 18. And then, like I said, come out and say, hey, y'all, we're coming out with college football next year. Because I think they could put it in Madden to actually kind of gauge the fan response from it, even though they know for sure that college football is going to sell. It's going to sell like crazy. It's going to sell like hotcakes at breakfast time for me, because I love hotcakes. So I really think it'll be back, y'all. And now, will it be this year? Being realistic, no. Unless it comes out of it, because nobody says they have to release it in July. They could do it in August. And then you run along the same timetable with Madden. I don't think that they will do that. They could, because NCAA and EA has two different marketing teams. It's not the same team. It's EA, but they have different departments that work on different games. Because then you say, will it affect Madden sales? But then you have to realize NCAA released in June, right alongside, it released in July, and Madden released a month later. So it's not going to hurt sales at all, especially if they implement it to where you could take your player up to Madden. EA, man, if you listening, I'm going to start a movement, man. I'm going to start an NCAA series. How about that? Y'all would like that? Let's start it, man. This is going to be the first video on could it return, and we're gonna do future videos on if it returned, what we would like to see in the game. And I think that because the reason I say this and I want to make this a big movement is because right now nobody's doing it, so we can do it. We can make this happen, and if we get a big enough following on it, that EA is gonna listen. They're gonna listen, and they're gonna see that, and that gives the community an opportunity to dictate what's put into the game. There is a guy named Romstar. If y'all watch him on YouTube, he's a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Literally, I think not single-handedly, but with his following, kind of dictated what was put into Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And that does happen because we're at a point in the gaming industry where they listen to the fans because they don't want another No Man's Sky on their hands. They want to give people what they want, knowing they can't please everybody, but they're still willing to try to give people what they want. So I really, truly, and honestly believe that if we come together and begin to voice our opinions, concerns, and what we'd like to see in the game, that we could see or even have an effect on when, not if, when college football returns to the gaming industry. That's all I got for today, y'all. Till next time, God bless.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.